Dinosaurs. Roar. I've never really been that interested in them. Nothing against dinosaurs, I just can't think of a time in my life where they genuinely excited me. Not the toys, not Dinosaur King, not even Jurassic Park. But there's one piece of dinosaur media that actually left a mark on me. Released in 1999 and developed by Capcom just 3 years after they were already giving people nightmares and near heart attacks, this survival horror game replaced slow, shambling zombies with fast, intelligent, relentless reptiles. I was already scared of zombies as a kid, but these things, this I didn't want to see at all, to the point where I never even touched this game growing up. But today, we're taking matters into our own hands. So sit tight, because today we're playing Dino Crisis. The cult classic franchise that never really moved forward in video game history. A big reason for that was the direction it took after the first entry. What followed leaned heavily into action. Dino Crisis 2 and 3 traded attention for speed, fear for firepower, the same shift many people later criticized in Resident Evil 5 and 6. Luckily, the first release will always be there. A survival horror experience so strong it's practically embedded in every fan of the genre. I'm a firm believer that if Capcom ever needs to remake one game, this is the one. The game opens with a very classic menu, and right away, the tension starts building.
You have mail.
The opening scene has us checking our email. Tom, an agent from our team, sends an update from a military research facility he has infiltrated undercover as a researcher. The mission was simple: investigate rumors of secret weapons under development, but what he found was far more revealing. A researcher by the name of Dr. Kirk, officially declared dead 3 years ago, is somehow alive, and a staged death planned with the hopes of losing the eye of officials in order to work in very evil experiments. Tom's message ends with an urgent request: extract Dr. Kirk immediately. His motives are unknown, but they're almost certainly bad. Operation Enter the Island, find the doctor, get out. Next thing we know, members of SWORD, short for Secret Operation Raid Team, are flying toward the facility by helicopter, then parachuting in to avoid raising any alarm. Our team consists of 4 agents: Gale, the blonde operation leader; Rick, the team's computer specialist; Regina, the red-haired weapons expert; Cooper, who for reasons not fully explained fails to align with the rest of the team. Cooper exists for one reason only: to immediately show the player that something is very wrong on this island. A not so small dinosaur, a T-Rex, eats him for lunch. We begin outside of the facility. Gale notices right away that something feels off. No guards, no lights, nothing. Rick heads to the control room to work his magic while we take control of Regina. From here, the game clearly shows its Resident Evil DNA. Fixed camera angles, tank controls, deliberate movement. It's a style not everyone enjoys, but I personally love it, especially since I'm on these older games. Our job is to look for clues as for what happened here, since there is clear indicators of altercation, survivors, what they were fighting, and the main mission: locate Dr. Kirk. In this type of games, you have to check every little corner, every room, move any box or shelf, since there could be a hidden object, a clue, or the key to progress in the story. The transitions from room to room are as scary as a Resident Evil 1. Rick radios in with bad news. He made it to the control room, but the entire facility is without power. And surprise, we are the ones tasked with getting the backup generators running.
It looks like all the power in this facility is being cut.
Same here.
As long as that's the situation, there's not a lot I can do. Why don't you see if you can gain access to the backup generators on the ground level?
I'm on it.
On the way there, we start seeing evidence of what went wrong. A mutilated body. Clearly, this wasn't done by a human. Restoring power introduces the core mechanic of Dino Crisis: puzzles. There are a lot of them. Some of them are simple read instructions, executed steps, but later on the game feels like a final exam you did not study for. While heading outside, we hear gunshots. Gale might be in trouble. but when we arrive, he's gone. Instead, couple steps forward, we encounter our first dinosaur. Fast, agile, aggressive. Regina barely reacts, which honestly raises the question, what have you seen in your life where a dinosaur doesn't even make you flinch? I immediately question how much damage my 9mm can realistically do here. I had the premonition that avoiding them at all costs was the right move, but I needed to know, how many bullets does it take to kill one of these things? Answer, 11 bullets. There is no way that I'm fighting these guys if I can run. Unfortunately, I'm now bleeding, down to 6 bullets, and I have no idea if Gale is even alive. We update Rick on the situation, and he tells us to return to the control room.
Alright, head over to the control room and we'll sort out this whole situation.
Now marked on the map, which by the way kind of sucks. It shows your general area but not your exact position, so getting lost is very easy. Early on it's manageable, but later on becomes a puzzle in itself. We also have to deal with bleeding. It won't kill you outright, but it leaves you stuck at 1 HP. Hemostats stop bleeding, medical packs heal you, resuscitation packs bring you back to life through questionable science. Once inside the facility, it's creepy outright. We know it's abandoned, but we also just fought a dinosaur. Ventilation shafts on the floor indicate that we can go up there, allowing us to bypass locked doors and even laser security systems. Eventually, we reach the main hall, completely empty, yet really tense. The map tells us we're close. We finally meet back with Rick. He's doing hacker stuff and explains he only has access to the ground level. The underground areas are still locked down. We repeat the fact that we were attacked by an extinct murderer chicken, and Rick suggests leaving immediately. But Cooper was the radio contact for the extraction chopper, and mission is not done. Before going any deeper, we need to fully clear the ground level. Only then we can start thinking of restoring the power to the other areas of the facility. Now, things get a little easier, at least on paper. Rick allows us to control the laser security systems, letting us activate and deactivate them at will. This is really good because it means we can finally use the facility to keep the dinosaurs at bay instead of wasting precious ammo. Dino Crisis is absolutely packed with files. Notes, emails, reports, information is scattered everywhere. Thankfully, the game isn't overly plot heavy with these. Most files are gameplay focused, explaining security systems, access codes, personal ID numbers, and how the facility actually functions. In the management office, we find a dead body, a log safe, and a disc labeled with an H. Reading the computer here explains one of the most important mechanics in the game, how locked doors work. High security doors require 2 items, a code disk and an input disk, both labeled with a letter. If both disks share the same letter, we can access doors locked under that same designation. For example, with disk H and code disk H, we can open the door locked under security level H, like the chief's office. But it's not quite that simple. First, we need to crack the password. The code disk gives us a set of letters and keys. We subtract the keys from the code, and the password will be the remaining letters from the code. Usually easy stuff. Inside the chief's office, we encounter our first survivor, a heavily wounded researcher. He warns us to be extremely careful with Dr. Kirk.
Do you know where I can find Dr. Kirk?
Kirk. That fool. What's he plotting now?
Then dramatically dies after handing us a key.
Extremely vital.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
This is probably the moment where a lot of people either fainted or turned off the console back in the day. Being trapped in a small office with a T-Rex was and is terrifying. The T-Rex encounters are especially tricky because, realistically, what are bullets supposed to do against a creature the size of a building? Still, nonetheless, we need to stay alive. The trick here is to shoot right as the T-Rex is about to bite, hitting the inside of its mouth. I guess those bullets might feel like spicy food or something to him. Luckily, he cannot take it. He dislikes Cholula and leaves Regina alone. I have the feeling this was just round 1. Let's see what other doors we can open. More doors, more dead bodies, and once again, it's crucial to search everything. Every room almost always has something useful, whether it's a key, a clue, ammo, or a critical number for a puzzle. One of the scariest things about Dino Crisis is that dinosaurs do not really respect instances, and by that, I mean entering a new room does not warrant you safety. There's always a chance a dinosaur will follow you through the door. Not only that is terrifying, it can be a nightmare if another dinosaur is already in the room. they will absolutely double team you. Thankfully, in my playthrough, Regina is an absolute marathon runner. In the lecture room, where we find an important key, a dinosaur drops down from the ventilation system just to say hello. This triggers another core mechanic, danger sequences. These require you to mash buttons as fast as possible to avoid taking massive damage or dying outright. This time, we are saved by the blondest hero of them all, Gale, who is very much alive. The mission is still on. Find Dr. Kirk. But first, Gale needs to fix his radio, which means heading back to Rick. Though, we activate the backup generator for the underground levels, since we finally have the required key. Back in the control room, we now have full access to the underground. But we receive an SOS signal. It could be Cooper or Tom. Rick wants to respond immediately. Gale insists we stay focused on the mission. And here the game gives you a choice. You can follow Gale and head underground to continue searching for Dr. Kirk, or follow Rick and investigate the SOS signal. I found this really interesting and wondered how much it will affect the story. After doing a bit of research, I found that this choice doesn't change the ending, but it does change the order in which certain events happen. It's a small touch, but it adds replay value, assuming this is the only game you own. I went with Rick because I believe the more people we have on board, the more chances we have to come out alive. It's not quantum science. So that led us to the east and outer side of the facility. Really interesting because I thought the whole game will occur indoors, but there are some dinosaurs sleeping in the outsides, like a backyard dog. The bad news, this is where pterodactyls show up. These guys aren't even hungry. They just attack you for fun, knock your weapon out of your hands, and ruin your day. I tried fighting them, but it's not like the aiming mechanics were any refined back in the 99. Running zigzags from them proved to be the better option. Besides, we have things to do. The SOS signal turns out to be Tom. He is at death's door and tells us that Dr. Kirk's experiments have nothing to do with energy. Hands us over a key disc and dramatically passes out. Second time we see this happen already.
Kirk's insane. His experiments have nothing to do with energy development. Tom! Here, take this.
Rick suggests we take him somewhere to treat his wounds, but somehow he does absolutely nothing. Instead, it's up to us to solve puzzles, fight more flying dinosaurs, activate an industrial elevator, and literally operate cranes just to open a path to the infirmary. All for nothing, he dies anyway because they were too far ahead of Regina. I find it extremely funny how dinosaurs can bite half of our body off, yet we just walk it off like nothing. On our way to the medical room, which I didn't even enter, I encountered something I wasn't expecting. Small dinosaurs. This thing genuinely made me panic. I didn't know if they were dangerous or not, so my natural instinct was to run. Tom is dead, and no sign of the dinosaur they fought, by the way, but we keep looting and collecting key items to progress. One area where Dino Crisis really differs from other games is the emergency boxes. Throughout the facility, you'll find storage units that require plugs to access. Green is medical supplies, red is ammo, yellow is a mix of both. They are incredibly useful, especially when resources are tight, and anything you store can be accessed from another emergency box of the same color elsewhere. We finally get access to the elevator, thanks to overriding an ID card with permissions. We literally had to take the fingerprints of a dead researcher, and heading down the basement, another dinosaur comes down to say hello. Surprisingly, he was really careful with the elevator because it's still useful afterwards. Down here, the DDK codes get trickier. We mess with poisonous gas to save a researcher, who also dies after giving us something useful. Then we use the same gas to kill a bored dinosaur. Completely optional, by the way. Regina goes full researcher mode, uncovering the existence of Dr. Kirk's secret laboratories. By reading just about every note available, we learn about the experiment simulation room, where Kirk tests everything before attempting the full experiment that caused his nightmare. Here we discover that dinosaurs were not created, they were brought in by tearing rifts in space and time. When we finally confront Dr. Kirk, he's not physically threatening, but he's clearly deranged and obsessed with his results. Mission objective located, time to call extraction. We head to the communications room on the second floor. Everything seems calm. We ready up the antenna, and before attempting to head back down, heavy steps tremble the whole nation. It's him. T. Raphael wants to eat Regina again. Oh my god, a T-Rex. This encounter is pure panic. You cannot fight him, only run. Just like the chief's room earlier, all you can do is shoot him whenever he tries to bite, barely holding him off. I died several times here until I finally made it through without messing up. Rick unlocks the door behind, time to run to the heliport and get out of here. The helicopter is ready, Gale is missing, the credits are about to roll until the T-Rex crashes not only the party, but the helicopter as well. Now we're trapped. Chaos erupts, Dr. Kirk escapes. Round 3. This time we're just bait while Rick works the elevator. Not wasting any ammo, survival is the goal clearly.
Hang in there. I just need a little more time.
Eventually, Rick gets his run in and we descend who knows where. Turns out it's the carry-out rooms. Power is out, Rick, being the stereotypical hacker man, gains access to most areas and it feels like the game restarts from here. Supplies suddenly matter a lot more. Item mixing Resident Evil style becomes crucial. We can create sleep darts, poison darts, enhanced medical items, and I forgot to tell you, we now have a shotgun and a grenade launcher. I only use those when absolutely necessary. In games like this, you could be fighting the final boss with your fingernails and the developers will not care. More puzzles, new dinosaurs, this one is slow, massive and deadly. One hit can mean death if you're not in optimal condition. Several grenade launchers rounds are needed, so avoidance is usually the better option. Eventually, Rick gains access to the port computers, possibly our way out. Through a radio on the floor, we hear that researchers have the port key.
You copy, Mike? I found the key to the port, but I got a lizard riding on my tail. I'm heading to the main elevator right now. I'll meet it at the ground level. Hurry!
But they're being chased to the elevator. One dinosaur, no problem to Regina. But when we make it out there, turns out to be the biggest lizard of them all. He takes the elevator like a gentleman, misses his bite, and instead chumps the power generator. It seems like it might be GG's for him, but he's just unconscious. I guess he's going through a shock right now. Haha. With the port car in hand, we should be able to leave. But there's a third energy vortex blocking the exit. Touch that and we might end up at the Last Supper. Rick suggests there might be a way of dissolving it. And if anyone knows how, it's Kirk. What follows, it's puzzles on top of puzzles, until we reach the third energy control room, the place where everything went sideways. Or positive if you're Dr. Kirk. The notes here are dense, the mechanisms are overwhelming. If you beat this without a guide, you have a massive brain. Even with one, I barely knew what I was doing. We find Kirk's personal lab and get held at gunpoint, until we're saved by someone even blonder than him.
It's too bad that it is wasted on one who is about to die.
Kirk explains everything. He's not opening portals. The experiment exchanges pockets of space and time.
To put it in terms that even you can understand, third energy has the ability to replace a pocket in space with one from a different time.
What?
Yes, I came to these conclusions following this evening's final experiment. You've seen the effects yourself. Those beasts were occupying the space this facility is located on almost 65 million years ago.
Right. So that's how those dinosaurs appeared in our time.
Precisely.
So, he brought a Velociraptor and we might have sent an Alexa in return to the dinosaur era. We explain how we need to get out, but the vortex is on the way. Kirk wants to live, so he says, you need to get the third energy experiment running and get the elements for it.
But there is one small catch. If you cannot stop the generator's third energy overload, this entire region may be shifted to another point in the space-time continuum.
Now, if this goes wrong, we might end up in an alternate timeline. No pressure, Regina. With the third energy components at hand, it's time to start Dr. Kirk's experiment one more time. Cue the science montage, because I'm not explaining what is going on here. The experiment goes as expected, but energy is coming out of control, causing the whole facility to start falling to pieces. We're going to have to make a run for it. Back at Kirk's personal room, Gale saves the doctor from the falling roof. Kirk leaves and Gale is stuck and in trouble. We're not leaving anyone behind, so we escort him all the way to the exit to the port. We are ready to leave, but the mission is not complete without extracting the doctor. The game hits you with another important choice. Go after Kirk or escape now. The decision determines the outcome of the run. I went after Kirk. He might be a great doctor, but he's not a great escaper. This is the third time he becomes hostage to us, this time to a wounded Gale, mind you. Revelations come to light. We weren't here to strike Kirk with the intent of stopping him, but to gain access to his knowledge and possibly creating weapons through that. Typical government conspiracies that make Regina feel used.
This has all been quite enlightening, but can we go now?
You're right. Let's go, Gale.
Sadly, Gale doesn't make it and Kirk eats a left from Regina. Back at the exit port area, we're ready to go. Vortex is no longer there, so let's get out. We lost another man, but we can still finish this mission. We get our hands in a hovercraft, ready it up. This could be the ending. As we speed away, Regina checks the rearview mirror.
He's back! I was beginning to miss our reptilian grouping.
And there he is, the antagonist, the Undying, the Undertaker, the nemesis of the game, is back for one last stand. Regina climbs to the top, grenade launcher in hand. The thing is swimming towards us like prime Michael Phelps. And blasting grenades to his mouth, there has to be a stop to this animal.
I'll finish this. Stay down!
Rick blasts the cave behind, leaving him trapped inside the cave, hopefully. But it's not enough. Now in a cutscene, Regina grabs a pack of C4, throws and makes sure the T-Rex eats it,
End of the line for you, handsome. You're extinct!
and after saying a badass line, the dinosaur is officially defeated. The crew made it out alive, the hovercraft drives into peaceful dawn, and the credits start rolling. What a game!
You have mail.
After the credits end, an email from Regina will explain the results of the mission and the losses of the team members. My run was an accomplished mission, but sadly I lost Gale. There's no canonical ending since the next game doesn't make much sense. So as long as you recovered Kirk, you did your part. The other three endings will vary in the method of escape. The other one being via chopper, having Gale alive, or not capturing Dr. Kirk. Indeed, interesting stuff. Took me around 6 hours. If I didn't know what Dino Crisis 2 became, I would be super excited to play it right now, but I guess we can do that eventually. There's some other stuff I want to try. This has been Dino Crisis. My name is Yourcelis, and with nothing else to say, good night.